Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are talking about the AI revolution. And look, the speed and the scale of what's happening, it's just unlike anything we have ever seen before. The numbers are absolutely staggering. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so let's rewind a bit back in 1999. Right in the middle of the dot-com boom, one of the founders of the internet, Vint Cerf, said something that really stuck. He said an internet year was like a dog year, 7 regular years packed into one. That's how fast it felt. But honestly, the AI revolution we're in right now, it makes that whole era look like it was standing still. And look, this isn't just a hunch or a feeling. The data is crystal clear. When you look at how quickly people are using it, the money pouring in, the pace of it all, AI is accelerating faster than any technology we have ever seen, period. So, what does that acceleration actually look like in practice? Let's dig into the numbers and see what makes this moment in tech so different. To really get a sense of this, let's just look back for a second. The Ford Model T totally changed the world, right? It took almost 7 years to get to 1 million customers. The iPhone, another game changer, did it in 74 days. Pretty fast. But ChatGPT, it hit that same million user mark in just 5 days. 5. That's just wild. And that incredible speed, it just kept going. Getting to 100 million users, that took Instagram over 2 years. TikTok, which felt like it was everywhere overnight, took almost a year. ChatGPT got there in just 2.5 months. That makes it, by far, the fastest growing consumer product ever. And believe me, this is not some small niche thing. By early 2025, ChatGPT alone had 800 million people using it every single week. To put that number into perspective, that's a user base that rivals the biggest social media giants on the planet, and it was built in like a blink of an eye compared to them. So, you gotta ask, where's the money going? Well, the world's biggest tech companies are absolutely all in. Their capital spending, and we're talking mostly on AI servers and infrastructure, just jumped from $130 billion to over $212 billion in a single year. That's a 63% jump. They are betting big. Okay, so you see the crazy growth, but what's the engine behind all this? What's the fundamental dynamic that's making all of this happen so fast? Well, it really comes down to this fascinating economic paradox. You've got these two huge forces pulling in opposite directions. The cost to build the AI is going through the roof, while the cost to actually use it is collapsing. And understanding this tension, it's the key to everything else we're going to talk about. So on one side of the coin, building a cutting-edge AI model, it's becoming one of the most expensive things humanity has ever tried to do. Just a couple of years ago, in 2022, a top model cost maybe $100 million to train. The forecast for 2025? It's expected to be over $1 billion. $1 billion. But, and this is the crazy part, on the flip side of that massive cost, the price for a developer to actually use that AI has absolutely plummeted. The cost to process what they call 1 million tokens, you can just think of those as little pieces of words, that cost has dropped by over 99% in just 2 years. It's becoming so cheap, it's practically free for us to use. So this whole paradox, super expensive to build, super cheap to use, it's not just some nerdy technical detail. It is the force that is radically reshaping our world, both physically and economically, like as we speak. You can see it happening in the job market, for instance. Since 2018, IT job postings that ask for AI skills, they've just exploded, up almost 450%. But at the same time, postings for traditional IT jobs, the non-AI ones, they've actually dropped by 9%. The demand is shifting, and man, it is shifting fast. And of course, this is sparking a whole new global competition. For a while, US-based models pretty much owned the market. But now, you've got models coming out of China that are gaining ground, and fast. They've already grabbed over 1/5 of the users. So yeah, the race is definitely on. And this stuff isn't just staying in the digital world either. It is literally hitting the streets. In a city like San Francisco, which is a huge testbed for this, autonomous vehicles, robo-taxis, have already taken over more than 1/4 of the entire rideshare market. This isn't some movie about the future. This is happening during rush hour, right now. So you see all this incredible speed, all this money, all this disruption. It just leads to the big question, right? Where's all of this going? What's the end game here? Well, the next frontier, the thing that almost everyone in this field is racing towards, is something called artificial general intelligence.
AGI. And this isn't just about a smarter chatbot. We're talking about a system that can reason, plan, and learn across pretty much any intellectual task a human can, and maybe do it a whole lot faster.
You know, the biggest change recently is just how people are talking about this. What used to be pure science fiction is now being discussed like it's a very difficult but solvable engineering problem. You have leaders in the field, like the CEO of OpenAI, coming out and saying that they're confident they now know how to build it. They see the path.
And the stakes, well, they just couldn't be higher. It reminds me of what the brilliant Stephen Hawking once warned. He said that creating true AI could be the biggest event in the history of our civilization, but that it could also be the last. It's this incredible moment of both amazing promise and, really profound risk. And that really brings us to the ultimate question here, doesn't it? As we race to build this future at a speed we've never seen before, what exactly are we racing towards? A race to the top or a race somewhere else? The answer to that question isn't just going to define the next iPhone or the next app. It's going to define the next chapter for all of us.